So we are to contend against this world. This world that is a beguiling place, that we are but strangers and sojourners passing through it. Now Christianity deals with this world. Neo-evangelicalism tells us not to do so. But that, as we have explained, is the enemy. When you see a man whom you know is a thief, a con artist, what are you going to do if he's knocking on a door? Are you going to just walk past? No, that's not the Christian thing. You're going to go to him and inform the householder, steer clear of him. What are you going to do if you see criminals? You're going to have to warn your fellow man. That's dealing with the world. We deal with the world every day. We go to work. And if something is wrong in our place of work, we point it out. We don't turn the other way. We point it out because we're Christians. We point out the truth and reject the error of this world. We live in this world, we have to deal with this world, and if somebody in our workplace or somebody in the street or somebody in a shop, whatever, is saying things that are not right, we subtly say, hang on a minute, what about this? What about that? We try to correct them because we are light, we are truth. We should bring light into this dark world. We should speak truth against error. We're not just to deal with the religious side of things, but the world itself. We should have compassion upon our fellow man who is blind to the things that he should understand. We're not talking about wicked people. We condemn the wicked people. That's another matter. When people say, oh, the rapists should be castrated, we say they should be hung. Child molesters and buggerers should be hung. Murderers should be hung. Adultery is adultery and not a mistake. Lies are unacceptable. Deceit is unacceptable. Rebellion against one's parents is unacceptable. We have the standards, we preach the standards, we preach the law of God, to the glory of God. Towards those under the curse of the law. We're dealing with the world. We cannot get away from the world. We must deal with it as much as we must deal with the error of the false religions around us. We have to do so because we are Christians. We are the light of the world. We cease to be light of the world if we don't speak out against the errors and the darkness of this world. We should be the lights of this world, the salt of the earth. And if we are conducting our lives properly, contending against this wicked world out here, and against, within this wicked world, false religions, people will begin to see that we are the salt of the earth. They will come to us, they trust us for our words and what we stand for, as pillars of truth, pillars of society. They can then come to us. They can't come to people who reject contending against the world. They are shameful in the eyes of the world. They are absolute disgusting in the eyes of the world. Those who just walk past and do not correct error when they can correct it are disgusting in the eyes of the world and disgusting in the eyes of God. We're to contend in every realm against this spiritual wickedness that is this world. And I'll say this. The world says that when it comes to likes of politics, oh, there's a good man, this is a good man. And they have this like team, a football game. And one side they're cheering on And then you've got another side cheering on their side. And it comes to the ballot box, and they put their X because they're not allowed to sign anything because they're stupid. Government tells them they're stupid. You've got to put an X here because you're so stupid you can't even sign your name. So they sign it. Sorry, they put their X in the box. Then they complain afterwards that their team has let them down. But in the meantime, they're saying to us, oh, you must vote for our team. The other side is saying, you must vote for our team. You must vote. You've got the freedom of vote. Well, yes, right, fine. So you want us to vote for a bunch of debauched people, wickedness in high places, liars, deceivers, child buggerers in most cases, dictators, because that's what you're voting for, a dictatorship, under the guise of democracy. Now, we vote with our feet. We vote by walking away. That is a vote of no confidence. We don't bow down to the diktats of the world. We will not vote for wicked men, dictators. Now, we're not going to go the Derby way. That's wickedness. They say we should be monks and nuns and everything else. We shouldn't be involved in politics. Well, that's quite correct, because today the politics is to deal with Satan himself. Because everywhere you turn, they are liars. Not one darn word comes out of their mouths that isn't a lie. And it's a very subtle lie as well. One can understand the serpent beguiling Eve, because the serpent today in politics is beguiling everybody. And we have all these false events that the media comes out with. We're having to deal with those. All these so-called school shootings abroad that never happen. These bombings in Paris that never happen. Anybody awake enough to understand that? This is what's going on in the world. This is the world that's trying to deceive us. But when we sit down and we look at these things and we examine them, we say, what the heck is going on here? But it's all for politics. Now, I'm being controversial. And according to the neo-evangelical mindset, I shouldn't be talking about this. Yes, I should, because we are dealing with the world. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. We have to deal with this world because we live in this world and we are Christians who should understand the workings of this wicked world and what is going on before us. We should not, if we're unfortunate enough to be beguiled into having these TVs and the rest, right, the newspapers, they are beguiling us. They're telling us a pack of lies. But it looks true. It actually looks authentic, the stories that they are portraying. Once you sit down and you start to examine them, you find that they're not. We always find they're not. And I'll just leave on this one point. Anybody bothered to look at the Paris shooting, and say the cafe. Let's say the cafe. Man goes beneath a table, alright, on the footage, and then a few minutes later, that man comes up as a woman. How's that done? How's it done that there are police outside a supermarket and a bomb goes off in their hands that they're going to place at the door to blow the doors off? It goes off in their hands and nobody gets injured. Nobody gets killed, injured or anything. And then the police open fire on themselves outside that supermarket and nobody gets killed. Because it's a political game, you see. And at the end of the day, what are they playing for to get into Syria? You see, France wants to get into Syria. And they're saying, this is ISIS that's done this, therefore we have a pretext in going into Syria. We're being played. This is the world. And of course, as Paul says, it's not the flesh and blood we're contending against, it's the spirit behind the flesh. Eve Adam and Eve basically should have contended against the spirit behind the serpent. Examine the spirits to see if they be of God. And the only way is to stand back, listen attentively to what people are saying, and judge where they're coming from. I mean, in the religious realm, we can stand back and say, oh, that there is Socinianism. That man has got a Socinian spirit. Or he's got the JW spirit, or Mormon spirit, or Seventh-day Adventist spirit, or Neo-Evangelical spirit. Because of what they're saying. And we can judge them. And it's against the spiritual wickedness in high places. It's no good shouting and bawling at people, is it? Because they're deaf and blind. We reason with people and we show them, and 99% of the time they walk away and don't want to know. They've closed their eyes, they've closed their ears, and in the way of salvation they do this because secondarily, or first as it were, God has caused them to do this so that they would not be saved. You can't save the children of the devil. The children of the devil will blatantly turn their eyes away. They would avert their eyes, stop their ears from hearing of true salvation, because they are the children of the devil, the seed of the wicked one. Genesis 3:15. They're not the ones for whom Christ died. So we are to contend against this world, and we're to contend with every aspect of this world, and Neo-Evangelicalism, Romanism, JWs, the Brethren movement, Closed and Open, and Irvingite Gates, and all the rest are in this world. They are of this world. So we can't get away from contending with this world, because on every facet we are contending against the world. No matter what. And when we hear a piece of news somewhere, we should say, oh, right, is that true or is that false? Because we're Christians. We question all things. How do you think we came to this point in time? Because of the Reformation. The Reformers and the Puritans questioned, examined all things, and discarded the darkness and cleaved to the light, dismissed error and preached the truth. And how can we preach the truth to the world if we don't contend against the world? Because the world is full of lies, it's darkness, it's perniciousness, it's deceitful. And we should be the ones speaking the truth. We should be the ones that are saying, this is right, that is right. That politician is telling lies. That newscaster is telling lies. Or that politician is telling the truth. Or this man is telling the truth. Or that telling the truth. We should be the mouthpieces of truth. The discerners of truth. The holders of truth. We shouldn't be following the world. Slumbering and sleeping. We shouldn't be. And if, let us put this further. If we get upset and annoyed and angry and irate when people say, right, C.H. Spurgeon was a heretic, we shouldn't. Because he was. What does that tell us about ourselves if we don't realise that? And D.L. Moody was the same, Ian Paisley was the same, Lloyd Jones was the same, Tozer was the same, Grattan Guinness was the same, Finney was the same, Schofield was the same. Amy Semple McPherson was the same. And we could go on and on and on. What does it say about us? That we're slumbering and sleeping with a lethargic. We've not fully awake to what is going on around us, how we are being played. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. This world is playing us in every realm. And these boys are playing us. We'll come back to that in a second.